All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is March 26, 2018, and the title of tonight's webinar is Using TimeTrader and Other Auto Features. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we might have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we will get started. I'll show you how to do that tonight, Bill. Bill's asking how to handle the reverse with TimeTrader. Okay, we'll get into that also. Okay, but first off, let me go to our website and make sure that everybody in here knows that we do have an Object Trader video ebook. This was updated on January 26, 2 months ago, and this will walk you through everything you need to know about Object Trader. Okay, now if you just want to learn about the indicators, they're pretty much in this PDF right here, except this little PDF was written before we had the predictors. Okay, we did have stealth and everything else, but we did not have predictors at the time this was written. Okay, and the ebook is really great because you can just go through it and learn exactly how to use Object Trader. So what we're going to do tonight, if you scroll down in your little ebook, you'll notice that right away we get into the object types. Now, object types start with region trades, and that is exactly the same thing as a time trade, except that a time trade just simply puts it up with a time coming up, and when you put it up manually, you're just hitting the insert key. Okay, so we're going to be going over quite a bit to do with TimeTrader tonight. Let me just scroll down here. Stealth trade should be TimeTrade next. There we go. TimeTrader is like region, but it appears on the chart with the close of a bar. You can use it just like region once it appears. It can be stretched, moved, add to, take away. It can scale in, scale out. It can do all of that. Okay, and your videos, of course, how to activate a TimeTrader region using your TMB buttons, which we're going to go over quite a bit tonight, using touch, close, touch plus, and close plus, and sizing and moving a region. We're going to try to go over all of this tonight. Okay, now hopefully I get through all of it. But these videos are just little short videos. You just highlight it, turns it yellow, the hand goes over it, and you just click it to start the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of this. And I didn't get everything started at the time, so what I'm going to do is just kind of what I do in the mornings with my trading. Okay, and I'm going to ask y'all what type of a trade you would look for on each one of these charts. Okay, what type of a trade would you be looking for on each one of these charts? Okay, let's start with RTY. Okay, let's diagnose it first, because we're going to do a little bit of trading on these charts first, and then we're going to get into TimeTrader, because I like to have some coin behind me before I go into TimeTrader, just in case I get one of my TimeTraders that doesn't work. And of course, you know, when you put up a time type box, bear with me a second, it should be showing now. That silly thing said on air, but it didn't let you see it. Okay, so if you look at the Russell chart, you know, what direction would you be looking for? Anybody? Anybody? It's long, right? Absolutely. Now, the reason it's long is what? If you look at the chart, you can pretty much see there's higher highs and higher lows as we go along here, right? So I would draw a line like this right here, and that's what it would take to change trends to me. Okay, and yeah, you could actually box this in right where it's at as far as that goes, right? Okay, now what I'm going to show you tonight, I think too many people end up staying in a trade too long, and there are good trades that you can stay with, but you've got to use some kind of a, a stop rather than just getting, like 10, 15 ticks and then right back in your face type trades, okay? Because, the way I see these charts, if I was getting ready to trade here, looking at this right here, let's see. Oil has been pretty sideways, right? But it has tried to take out swings across here, so it is taking out resistance. Okay, it didn't take out resistance here. But this one would be a candidate to me for a box, wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you think that would be a candidate for a good little box? Absolutely, right? Okay, so how would you box it? Anybody? Easy, right? Would you do it in either direction, Mindy? Well, I would, except for one thing. Let me show you something that I personally like to look for. See this support down here at 47? I don't like to just box this tight, because if it hits 47 and bounces off of it, I'm not going to get a scalp. So to me, I would probably want to box this more to where if it actually took out this little area here like 46, and that would be more of a breakout trade, but it's actually support too. Okay, so I would box it something like this right here, and we could go short outside and long outside. You could even go a little looser box than this. See, here's your resistance right across here where it kind of held consolidation. You can box it more like that. That way you don't get faked into trades. Okay, we're going to use UsingTimeTrader in just a minute, but I want to show you, how I kind of see these charts first thing in the morning. I like to get up around, 6-ish. It depends. Sometimes I'll get up even at 5:30, but not too often. That's pretty early. So basically what I do is usually about 6 to 6:15, and I'm easily trading by 6:15 to 6:30. Okay, so I wanted to just show you kind of what I look for. Okay, now if you look at this chart over here, okay, we pretty much got a decent uptrend, but our background has turned red, our midband has turned magenta. So what trade would we be looking for on this chart? Anybody? Anybody? Down, right? Because it's got a red background. Okay, but keep in mind we could also box it, but let's see where thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. Okay, this is like a secondary swing right across here, like so. So I would probably want to at least take out that secondary swing if I was going to box it to the upside. This one's actually at midband, so we can box it. You can't really box this one here yet. Okay. Now I'm looking for a trade though, right about where this predictor is, and we would actually be looking for a short. Okay. What I want to show you tonight though, too, is that you do not have to stay in trades any longer than you want to. Green is green. Okay. Some of our best traders that we've got in our room literally take trades and then they just pretty much get some quick coin on them. They're done. Okay. And then they wait for another thrust and a pullback. Do they miss some, really good runs? Probably. I'm sure they do some. Okay. But let's go ahead and just put UsingTimeTrader on here real quick. Just like we drew it here. Now, one thing I want to go over here real quick too is when you really do a tight box, let's say that you did a box like this right here. They're going to fake you most times. Okay. That's just something you got to get used to. They're going to fake that type of a box. So what you really want to do is you don't want to have quite that tight of a box, or you want to just take your shot at, hey, if it's bouncing off support, I'm going to buy it long. If it's bouncing off resistance, I'm going to sell it short. But if you're going to box it, don't get whack-a-moled around. That's Charles's word. That particular word, he likes using that. But that will get you whacked around if you get just really, really tight boxes. Okay, because we don't know which direction this particular trend is going to go. We do know that it busted through, what we call the lightning 3 swing, right? But it went up to phantom, it's doing a big thrust, a retrace. So we feel that it's going to probably go up. Okay. That's the direction I would think it would go, simply because it actually did such a thrust up to fan and pull back into mid band. It looks like it wants to head up. Okay. So let's get Object Trader on these charts. Let's go ahead and go Strategy, Object Trader. And, depends on how many contracts you want to do on this. You could actually do, 3, you can do, 2, you can set this for anything you want. I don't normally trade like, 5, for instance, but I like to have 5 at least if I want to, because that way, if I see a really good trend, I can go ahead and add rather than having to stop Object Trader and throw Chart Trader on or something like that to add. Okay. And you want to be sure and set your targets and everything. If you're going to scalp, then you want to just have pretty much like a, 7 or 8 possibly, and maybe even a 10 or 15. Okay. Because that would be, decent little trades to begin with. And you don't even have to go for runners if you don't want to. Okay, let's see. For one up, we are allowed to trade 6 maximum, Bill. That's on the $50,000 account. That'd be correct. Now, 6 actually means that's the most you can trade, period. Okay, right. So if you can only trade 6, period, you would only want to do, well, basically you'd want to do probably 2 charts. Maybe a couple of contracts on each chart. So do y'all want to trade all 4 charts, or would you rather just do it more like, a little bit more conservative? Because we'll do it either way you want to tonight. What says the team? A little more conservative or all 4 charts? Conservative? I thought that's what most people would do. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's pick we'll just pick, I like gold quite a bit, so I'll just get this one out of the way, and we'll bring gold across. Actually, no, we'll do it different. Let's do it, yeah, let's do Russell. So we'll get rid of YM, and we'll do Russell. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring this down. Oops, I just lost my Russell. Okay, we'll do it conservative. We'll get rid of oil. We'll just do 2 charts. How's that? Russell, where'd you go? Right there. Are you hiding behind something? There's Russell. And we're going to do gold, right? So let's bring gold over. And let me stretch it out. This will probably be a little easier to begin with because, one thing about it, you can't really trade 4 charts to begin with unless you're really, really good at looking at those charts. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Now, what direction would we be looking for on gold? Anybody? Those 2 are your favorite, Brian? Okay. That's fine. Let's look to the left to trade the right then. And we're going to get to the time trader here in just a few minutes. But I wanted to actually show, if you happen to get up, you do not have to wait for the market to open. Like the oil open, you can absolutely trade this, most anytime you want to. Okay. So let's do just that. We're going to put Object Trader on this chart too, which we just did. Like so. And we're going to do, let's do 2 contracts with gold and 2 contracts with RTY. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just, how about just scalping it? Let's just see if we can get some decent scalps. So I'm going to do 8 and 15. Now, if you did a 3rd contract, you could do a runner, okay? You could definitely do a runner. I'd probably put about a 12-tick stop instead of 15, especially on gold over here. And let's see, we'll do 8, 15, and 30. 8, 15, and 30, and we'll do 12-tick stop. All right, so what we're looking for, now we've got a predictor right down here that actually technically has already fired, right? Okay, So I'm going to probably, more than likely, if this even ticks up, I'm going to take this trade simply because predictor is right here and it's pretty much telling me that that's where we're going to bounce. Okay. So if that bar closes up, I think I'll go ahead and take it, and we'll just take 2. Okay. This one here, you're in a phantom type trade. This is your little swing that's identified right over here to the left. See it? Just barely took it out, and your medium swing is all the way down here. So I'm going to take this one if it just takes out this little swing, or if we get a 1, 2, 3. So I would probably box it like this. And that's a down, up, and that one's kind of heading down, but it may close up. So we'll take it if it closes out of the box. Okay, now let's see what we get here. I'm going to click this on and see if we can get something. Okay, bar close up. We don't have it yet. I'd like for it to go down here, even at mid-band. And if that bar closes down, we might get it. Okay, there's a region. Now, usually what I like to personally do, I get in these fairly early. I don't like to wait for that bar to close, but we did, so let's do it. All right, and I'm going to just get this out of the way for right now. I'm going to go to my top. And we already got one target. Okay. Now we haven't even gotten anything on the gold just yet, right? So we're fine on that. That's no big deal at all. Okay. Now when you're trading like this, keep in mind that you've always got to look to the left to trade the right. We don't know if they're going to take this out right here. Okay. So you want to protect some coin as it gets up there. You know, for instance, if it gets like within a couple of 3 ticks of this line right here, you want to go ahead and be protected except on that last contract. Okay. Because right now we've got like 150 bucks, right? Not a great amount, but it's decent, correct? Let's see if we can take that. We still got our gold turned on too. Okay. Now you can go to break even if you want to, you know, on here. There we just got our gold too. Okay. Now how many of you would not mind, for instance, just watching this, and if it gets to like $300, you know, is that enough for trading for the day, or do you actually make your living off of trading, which a lot of people do, and that's totally fine. But keep in mind that you can actually take some coin anytime you see it too. See, we're now down to $110. Okay, but we haven't gotten up to the top, so you know, usually as a rule, when they do this, they're going to come down and check like on a swing or something. You know, you can even move this little region box if you want to, and even add if you wanted to. Well, I just missed it. I wanted to add at mid-band, but that's all right. We'll just let it go. And it looks like we're pretty decent on the trade, right? Now, if it hits any kind of a double top at all, you want to really be careful. Like if it, let's say it goes up and hits this predictor right here, but it hits its head. See, like it's trying to hit that top. I think it did, didn't it? Nope, not yet. Not yet. We'll wait and see if it'll hit that top. Is it going to? Looks like it could, doesn't it? There you go. You just got your target taken out. Now, what I do when I see something like this, until I take this top out, I'm a little concerned about this swing right here. Okay, so I'm going to actually at least bring my stop to break even on my runner. Okay, you've got a little swing right here. If it takes this up a little bit more, we'll even get it tighter than that. All right, let's get our gold, same thing, right? Okay, notice that it took that out, and it's right back below support there. I'd probably put my stop just underneath there. Exit on close. See why? It hit the top and didn't hold, so it's got to hold this swing if we're going to stay in this trade, and it looks like it's going to take us out. took us out. All right, so let's look for another trade on here, and we'll get one. Let's see here. I think I just missed one, but let's wait on Lightning, see if we can get another trade. Don't chase a trade when it's so close to a top, by the way. Just let it come back to you. If it runs away and you don't get it, so be it. Okay. There's a little mid band. See if it'll close below. Yep. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Look to the left, trade the right. Can't take this out if we're going to head up, right? No, the time trader limb we're going to talk about in just a couple of minutes. This is getting close to, I was just showing kind of the way I like to trade this in the morning with region, and we're gonna fast forward this to time trader here in just a minute. Watch your little lightning. Now, is this a short yet? Anybody? No. No. Could you have shorted it and gotten a quick little scalp? Probably. Okay. But your overall trend is still to the upside, right? So why do you want to short it? Okay. Still doing the lightning dance down so far. If this goes below here, I'll bring my little region right here instead. And if it goes down and doesn't take this out, we'll be able to do it like even a 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to fast forward to time trader. What I wanted to show you though is you want to get a little ahead of the game before you start with, faster markets, like when markets just open up. Okay. And we're ahead of the game right now. Ooh, this is going to be good. Now we're not looking for shorts yet, right? I'm not yet. Now, if it takes us out and pops down and pulls back and kisses and rolls over, we will be looking for shorts. Let's see if we can get a little lightning. This is one thing about trading two charts too. You've got to actually watch both your charts. There's where you put your stop on this one. I'm going to do a touch +2 because that's bouncing right off support instead of waiting for that close. Now, if this goes against me, I'm going to get out of it fairly quick because this could crater through support, right? That's a good place to take profit on gold, by the way. Very, very good place to take profit on gold. Tighten it up. See the little lightning swing? There we're in Russell again. Okay. So we'll get one out of the way. We'll get one up at the top. And we'll get one usually where your next swing is. And I see a swing right across this area right here. Predictor's saying right here, but I see this one more right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a target right there. Okay, so now we're ahead of the game. Okay, we got up early. We've done pretty good. And by the way, could you just turn this off and in the room just look for, some decent trades even in sim to just teach yourself everything? Because that's 530 with just doing those couple of contracts over here and 3 over here with Russell. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and let this trade do its thing though. And it's now 6:59. That's like 7 o'clock in the morning, so to speak. We're watching it. And by the way, you definitely put your stop right there. And anytime you get a thrust like this right here, I am pretty much ready to get out of this trade. Well, I would have already done it because see how that pushed up there? They're going to take you out anyway if you don't. Okay? See what I'm getting at? Take your coin rather than letting them take it from you. When this thrust up like this, you want to get out of that trade. Okay? Oh, here's another trade setting up on gold. we're almost to time trader. Let's go ahead and we're going to box this one in right across here. And we cannot take out this swing right here if we're going to continue up, because you have a high, a low, and a higher high. So this needs to hold for us to continue with this, okay? Missed my short on RTY. That's okay. And we're going to turn this on. And then right away, just as soon as this trade triggers, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the time trader. Now, does anybody see how you can actually take two charts though and read them in real time? Because I have some new people in here that I wanted to show this first so that you can actually see. Now, today I got up, I think around 6 o'clock, if I remember right, maybe a little bit before. And I didn't trade Russell, but notice that we did quite well on Russell, by the way, $525. Didn't even touch Russell until later in the morning. I just traded gold and oil this morning. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little bit more, and then we're going to get that box at 759. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and stop this because that's 753. I'm going to show you how to do your time trader. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and close down my regions. We'll just turn it, bar close or anything, I'll turn them on. Also, you can just do the little insert key. Okay, just use your insert key. Now, let's go ahead and set this with Time Trader. I'm going to show you how to use Time Trader. Okay, so Time Trader, what we're going to do, we're going to go to our strategy. We're going to click on it, and we're going to click false here because we want to be able to change things up here. So we go up to our zones, and see, here's a zone for March 22nd. Well, today was the 26th. So we want to set this for 7:59. Okay, and this is the time for Central Time, by the way, that the oil opens up at 8 a.m. and gold likes to run too about that time. Okay, so that's a 7:59, and I'm going to do it with. You can do your zone either 10 ticks, or you can even go to 8 ticks. You can even go to 6 ticks. Okay, what this means on the zone offset is simply that in the middle of the zone is where this starts, 5 up and 5 down. So that's a 10 tick zone. Okay. And that's pretty important because a 10 tick zone might be a little bit bigger than you want. You might even want just a, 8 tick zone, for instance. Let's just do an 8 on this one. Okay. And then we just simply go back to activate it, and we're in replay mode. And then what you do is you just simply put this on Time Trader. Okay. And then at 7:59, the little box will print. You can go ahead and set these up if you want to. And by the way, Bill, you were asking about how to reverse it. Well, if you get in a trade, you can actually use the reversal mode. Okay. But let's go ahead and let 7:59 come so we can see if we can get something. Okay. You want to go ahead and do it on, what were we on, Russell? Let's do it on Russell too. Now, Russell was a good little trade right there at my line, by the way. But let's go ahead and do time trade on it too. So we're going to do it to false here so that we can change things. And then we're going to go up here to March 22nd, change that to the 26th, 7:59. And I'll go ahead and use a 8 range on it too. And then let's go down and enable the strategy. Okay, so let's let 7:59 come and see what we're going to get. Okay, so we're going to do long enable, short enable, reverse for right now, but this is looking more like a short to me, so I'd probably turn that long off. But let's see where the little box forms. We'll be able to tell in a minute. And I'm going to show you by the little time clock here. It's 7:54. 7:54. Doing about 8 times, so it'll go fairly quick. There's 7:55. 756 almost. And then at 759, that little box will form. Now I'm going to turn off this one right here simply because that's a short. I mean, that's looking for shorts. I would have been punching it already and probably adding with my time trader, but let's go ahead and let it just do its thing. Oh, and we got to turn time trader on, sorry. There we go. All right, there's our little time trade module. Everybody see the little module? We're on RTY. There's your little trade there on gold. Okay. Now gold, by the way, if gold pulls back at all, I would probably add, because we just started with one, by the way. These are only onesie trades. All right. And you can even turn on this box again if you want, move it, and even add if you want, simply by waiting for the close of the bar. Okay. Because this box is actually movable on your chart at any given moment. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little add-on to our gold. I'm going to do a touch plus 2. Just got one. Okay. Our stop's just right under the swing. You notice that our little time trader box is white here. Okay. And we moved the little region. The beauty of this new region is that you can move it on the fly. Okay. Now keep in mind, this is just about time trader, but you had a perfect trade set up right here where my line was drawn. We didn't get it. And I'll do a touch on that plus 2 if we can get it. And I'm going to add 2. The reason is because this is trying to break this little swing, and we'll see if we can get something on it. Didn't get, there we go, we got it. All right. And I would put my stop on YM just above this swing over here to the left until it really breaks down solid, and I'd put it right here. Everybody see that? Now notice that time trader, whoa, wait a minute. We just gave up a little bit on our gold. Let's see, we're in 2. I'm going to add 1 if it takes out that swing and doesn't take this out. We're still in the same box. Matter of fact, you could even move your box with time trader if you wanted. Remember that trade? I actually called that this morning in the room. Remember, everyone? We had a line drawn on that chart. So we're in 3. Notice we gave up a little bit because we weren't watching our chart as much, but it did not take us out. Okay, stop still under here for right now. Let's see, Mindy, on your question, just 1 second. Bear with me a second. Yeah, to set time trade, Kenneth, you know how to do that, right? Exactly. Yeah, what you do to set that time trade, you got to always make sure you've got it on time trade because it'll draw the box as soon as the bar closes. Okay. Now, let me show you some more auto features on this thing right here because I want to show you what we've added to Object Trader. All right. Let's say that I wasn't even in a trade at all. Okay. Do you know that you can actually turn on bar close like that, and every bar that closes, it will add 1? See there, there's 1. These are auto features. If it closes up, there will be 2. Closes down, it won't add it. See if we can get something there. See how I've got auto turned on this thing? Go ahead and tighten our stop. It's right across there. See, adds 1. It'll continue adding until it gets to a total of 5 because that's what I've got on my Object Trader parameter is 5 total. Okay. See how you can actually add like that? Is it possible you can show us all on this one chart? I think I will understand a lot better, Lewis. Well, okay. You want to just kill this one here then? We can kill this one. We've got a stop in, so we're good to go anyway. Let me just get it off the screen. I'll just show you on this one. Notice that the auto trader now has me in 4 contracts. Okay, if this bar closes up, it'll have me in a total of 5 because that auto feature will continually keep adding, see there, until it hits the maximum. Now the maximum you notice that I had set on mine was 5. See there? So be careful if you ever set that on 10 or something like that, because you will get the max contracts if you turn on any kind of an auto feature. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you tonight too, is that you can use these auto features. They're pretty cool. Okay, now if I even take one off, let's say that I sell one, if that bar closes up again, it'll add another one. See there? Okay, so remember to turn this off if you're ever using auto trade, because if you don't, it'll just keep adding until it hits your maximum. Okay, it's maxed for one chart only, correct, Bill? But keep in mind, like if you're on One Up or something like that, or Top Step or any of those, that they have a certain limit on their contracts too. Like, well, look at that thing go. Notice, let me just show you how this auto works. I'm going to get this one out of the way and this one out of the way. And you'll see if it actually hits this one, you're in 5. You'll notice that you've got a quantity of 1 here. We'll go ahead and tighten my stop. That if it hits this up here, it'll go ahead and add to the auto feature, okay? Because it won't go above 5, but if it hits a target, obviously, then you're below 5 again. So if you leave that auto feature on, see where it says auto trading is on? That can actually get you into good trades, or you can get into some trouble with it. So you got to know how to use it. Let's go ahead and tighten this to break even, especially with 5 contracts there. Everybody see that? How does a max drawdown work on the account P&L, Kenneth? The way that works, you can't do it while you're in a trade unless you copy and paste something. Let's say, for instance, let me pause this for just a second. And I'm going to go to, let me get a notepad, and I'll show you how you can actually do this even if you're in a trade. It's pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and go with, bear with me a second. I'll have a notepad in just 1 second. See, if I put in anything in here right now on max, then it's going to take that as what it's supposed to hit its target. So if I started typing in 500 or 2,000 or whatever, the second I hit 2 on that, it's going to kill it. But I can do this. Let's say that if I do 2,000 like that, copy it, and paste it. Okay, so we'll copy it and paste it in here. Then that'll let me go to 2,000 now, and it'll max that chart out. Okay, let's see, can you show us how you sparked up AutoTrader? I was busy asking you to demonstrate on a single chart. Well, AutoTrader, any of these little buttons down here, this will turn on your auto. This is required trend, and this is like your LSR. What this means is when you're in required trend, it's going to alternate with this LE and SE on the band. Okay, and you can also scale out on these. Let's say, for instance, that I wanted to scale out 1 on a bar close, to give an example. Okay, let's go ahead and let this hit. I'm going to turn the auto off. Instead of doing this, I can just scale out 1 by simply turning on bar close like that with 1, and if a bar closes down, it'll take me out of 1. Okay, that's scaling out. And see how I can stay in a trade. See there, it just took me out of 1 of those. If I turn it back on, I can actually get out of another one. See there? Okay, if I turn it on auto scale out, it'll literally get me out of all of these if we get that many bars down. Okay. Now I can go ahead and turn this back on, by the way, and go ahead and add again. See how we've added auto features to this that you can really use? You know, it's pretty powerful little tool now. that a person can use every single day to just make all kinds of money if they want to. Put your stop just under the swing. Okay? Let's see. Let me see if I missed some questions. Did you see how I did that, Kenneth, where you can actually put your figure in? If I was to just start typing in this, though, let's say that I started with like 5, to give an example, like I was going to go for 500 or 5,000 or whatever. The moment I hit that, it kills my trade. See there? Because I was starting to type in 5 and it thinks it's $5 that I want. So it knows it's above that. Okay. So if you ever want to set this, to hit a maximum for it to turn off, you want to go ahead and either don't be in a trade and go ahead and use the little deal here and just kick it up there. For instance, if I wanted 2,200, all I've got to do is actually just tell it I want 2,200. And then when it gets there, that's what I've got. Let's just go ahead and just for the fun of it, it broke up through that support or that resistance. And I'll leave my stop nice and tight. Okay. And the reason I took that, by the way, is just simply because it's doing the stair stepping up, and I got out of it showing you a feature that Object Trader has. Okay. So we'll go ahead and just leave this with our little swing. And if it takes us out, it takes us out. But if it doesn't take us out and you get to 2,200 on a chart, see our chart's only at 950 right now because we got some of our others on the other one. So if I wanted to get, like, say, to 1,500 or 1,400, I can actually set this as long as I'm above that number. Okay. I think we just hit our target, unfortunately. Everybody see how to work that even? This is actually your maximum. It's like a score, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah, I can see you're at 1,600 so far. Now, I would probably want some kind of a little pullback now, okay? Because to give you an example, I would say, okay, it's already been here. It has not been here, right? Let's see if we can get a trade. See if we can come down a little bit for a retracement. What do you think about 1350, 150 area, something like that? Let's see if we can get down there. And then there's another area right here that also could bounce. Everybody see that? And you're looking strictly for longs right now, right? But let's see if we can get a retracement and get in that trade. It may not let us. Come on, double top. Not double topping on us just yet. There we go. I'm going to do one there. I'm going to do one more if it comes down to here. See if we can get that. See why I did that? It's right on top of support. That may be all we get a chance at. That's fine. See why I did that? I drew my line on my chart ahead of time, and I got me a little trade. Okay? And just let it ride. Stop would be underneath the swing. That would only cost me 3 ticks, so I'd just go ahead and ride that trade. Came down on top of that swing too. There we go. We got 2 in. Let's just ride this thing up. It is a really, really powerful tool if you just learn how to use it. And that's why I did that ebook. That took like days to get that thing done. But it's little 5-minute videos. It'll walk you through exactly how to use this little puppy. And I think it works extremely well. And, if there's any glitches and things like that, we'll fish them out. But it's not an auto trader per se that you want to just walk away from. And you know that by how fast the markets move. I mean, you can be long on YM and, 5 minutes later be short. You really can't walk away from futures. Futures move like houses of fire. Okay. So you want to always be to the point where we've got a little yellow bar probe, don't we? Let's see. I'm going to put my stop. Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to add one. See it right there? Came above my mid-band. That's fine with me. And I'll put my stop just underneath the mid-band. And we'll do our lightning swings. like so, just in case it double tops. And it got our targets, so we're good to go. Okay, let me slow this down just a little bit. Let me see if there's any questions. Is there a way to have a trail kick in while a trade is in progress after a certain profit? Kenneth, on your question, the answer is actually yes on that. Okay, you want to see how that works, like on, you want to do a YM real quick and see what we can get on YM or Russell? Let's see if we can get a trade on it, and I'll show you how to kick in a trail stop. Bear with me a second. Where's my YM chart? YM moves quite a bit, so you can do pretty well with it. Bear with me a second. Should be able to see YM, right? Man, that thing's all the way down, though, unfortunately. I don't know if I want to chase this. See that? I wanted it right there. Too late, in my personal opinion, on YM. So what's our rule of thumb, everyone? Anybody? I'll take it if it goes back up here, but we're going to just scalp it if it does. Let's see if we can get that. Or it's going to have to break out and pull back and kiss. One or the other. Okay, you're in a range right there. Let's go ahead and set Object Trader. And we'll set a trail if we can get into a trade. Okay, it's kind of triple bottoming there so far, isn't it? But it's still a short, so we're going to be looking for a short right up here at my line. Or we're going to be looking for a breakout, pull back and kiss and roll. Draw on your charts. Let's see, we've got resistance right here. They've already checked it. That's almost mid-band, everyone. What do you think? Let's go ahead and take a shot at it. Didn't quite take out that top. We'll leave our stop right there. Okay, and we'll see if we can get down to that low. Now keep in mind that when they start bottoming like this and they're in a range, you more than likely want to do something like this. Just run a runner, and I'm going to go exit on close. That should hold. Is it going to hold? Not necessarily. It's rolling over though. Let's see. That green stealth makes me a little nervous, doesn't it, you? Let's see if it takes us out. If it does, it does. Nope, we're still okay. Maybe. Maybe. May get us. Yeah, that's going to get us for sure. You got a blue bar there. So it's going to get us. That's all right. Okay. Now what are we looking for, everyone? We're looking for a thrust and a pullback, right? Let's see if we get it. Oh, I didn't want that short. Bear with me a second. I had bar close turned on. Did I want that short, anyone? Well, from Phantom, you could. Let's go ahead and do a power meter and see if we can get a little trade here. Power meter turns red. We'll get a little trade. We're only going to go for 10 ticks since this is probably just going to be a retracement because that's breaking up right now. It's 9:49 in the morning. About the time we shut the room down, isn't it? Pretty close to it. Let's see if we can get something. We'll get a little pullback more than likely. Let's see if we can get it. But keep in mind, rather than chasing a trade, you want to be really careful chasing a trade, okay? We're waiting for a pullback, and we'll see if we can get in a trade, and I'll put a trail stop on it if we do. YM does move pretty good, doesn't it? It absolutely always has. See if we can get a little pullback, and we'll get into a trade. But we got to have a little pullback. Oh, that's the thing. You know, that's the whole thing. You could absolutely be through trading, couldn't you? Absolutely. Now, I'm a tad on the gutsy side on trading because I see a big thrust down, a big retrace, big thrust down. So this could easily also head back down. So you could actually turn on your PM trader. If this decides to retrace the midband, you could still get probably 10 ticks. Okay, let's see if we can get something. Missed that break. I'm sure we called that in the room this morning, but we missed that one on the way up. That's no big deal. Got to wait for a pullback because we missed the breakout. And I personally like an ABC. Okay, let's see if we can get something. Well, we got a little 10 ticker. Maybe. Got a 10 ticker. Okay, there's an A. There's a B. Now, if I was going to take this trade back to the upside, I would probably want to, wait for it to at least break this. See, it's not breaking this. See if we can get a little phantom trade instead. Anybody see a phantom trade setting up right there? I'm going to go ahead and take a phantom trade. Now, will this work? We don't know, but we'll find out. I'm going to put a tight stop on it, at least underline 2. Got a little phantom trade. See how when it's even sideways like this, well, we haven't got it yet. It hadn't got our target. But see how when it's tight sideways like this, how you can actually, just go for scalpy trades? Because you can do that. Now, this went fairly deep on that retracement right there. So I'd be looking at 2 types of trades on this. It would have to break support, resistance now. Come back and kiss. Doesn't have to break that much, but it's got to break something. Or it's got to break support here, or at least here. See where this little support level is right there? And come back and kiss. Okay, let's see if we can get something. It'll do one way or the other. Getting a lower high there. Got another tool that you might like. The wedge is a ray trade. It's already going almost through it. Let's see if we can get something. If it closes below the wedge, we'll just go ahead and take a quick short and see if we can get down to that midband. And I'd probably put a touch plus about 2. And I think I just missed it, unfortunately. I was changing that while it was going through it. Yep, I missed it. That's all right. We'll see if we can get a little trade. And if it breaks that, you could actually short it right there. See where it's breaking that? Put your stop nice and tight, like right above this candle right here, just in case. And we'll see if we can get a rollover. And since I've only got one set of contracts, I'm unfortunately got to just leave my target out of the way. Let's see, your chart's been devoted in the RTY, the Phantom. Phantom's a good trade, Lewis, on your question there. It's actually a really good trade. Now, if you weren't in this trade at all, anybody, we've already gone through some automatic features. There's lots more to go through. You can turn on auto, features like this. Let's say you weren't even in a trade just yet. You want to use, like a bar close, for instance, like one contract at a time, turn it on auto, or maybe 2. Just see there's 2. And if it closes down one more, see when I've got it in auto, it'll actually add 2 more, see there? And notice that if it gets it again, it won't go above 5. If it gets it again, that is. Okay, see there? Just went to 5. That's because my total is set at 5. Okay? So that makes it to where you just don't go crazy with your amount of contracts. Okay? Some people like they're set at 3, some people at 5. You know, I've got some people that set theirs at 10. RTY is a good one. Let's go ahead and protect our coin right above there. I'd probably put it at break even just in case, because that's a little light of a swing right there. What does everybody think of these little features on here? Time Trader, you know, we've got some guys in the room and gals that actually take Time Trader and actually turn it on, you know, a couple of 3 charts. You know, because if you look this morning, to give an example, YM on the time trade was, let's see, that's 8, that's 9 o'clock. Here's your time trade right here. 8 o'clock, nice short, nice short, nice short, and even another nice short, just under Time Trader. There's 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades, 4 trades, and even a 5th one. Okay, and of course you could even take it when it busted up, because we actually would have boxed this in like we teach in the room. Okay, here's even time trade on 831 and 832 if you want to use it. There's a long out of the box. There's a long out of the box, long out of the box. That's your 831 one, I believe. Let me see here. It should be yellow. Yeah, 831. Okay. But just keep in mind that even if you're using Time Trader, to give an example, you want to be, you know, to where you're using the same common sense that we teach to stay in the trade. And if it goes against your swings, to give an example, you don't want to stay in that trade and give them 15, 20 ticks, especially if you start doing any kind of multiples on contracts. Okay. Now this looks to me like this is kind of bottoming, so I'm going to tighten this a little bit like that. Okay. Now, where is this not checked as of yet? If we break what we call micro, anybody see this area where we had our line drawn? Usually, as a rule, they'll do that too. By the way, meaning object trader in its many uses. It does have a lot of uses, doesn't it? It really truly does. We're still okay on our trade, but it's looking like it's going to bottom out to me. Now, I'd probably protect this like even line 2. See, that's a little double bottom. Especially if you've got 5. Usually when I've got 5 like this, I watch the bars, and if all of a sudden I see that it's trying to bounce off of a double bottom, I usually click out of a couple of them and even click out of a couple of more. That way you're only in one. See, because you're double bottoming on that. See there? It's going to take us out. Don't let it do it with 5. Okay? Now, could you, as a rule, you know, for instance, if I wanted to, could I actually take a trade if it breaks this to see if it actually starts heading up? That's a risky trade, but keep in mind that that's like lightning thrusts, and if it did break, it'll probably go to mid-band. So I didn't want that trade. Did not want that trade. Have my bar close turned on. That double bottom, I'm going to probably take a long, but I'm going to do only 10 ticks with 2 contracts. Or it's going to roll over and take out this swing. Buy or sell, buy or sell. Yeah, you could do auto on it, sure. Sure, like to give an example, like right here, when this is range bound like this, you pretty much want to just consider this to be pretty range bound until it breaks that top or breaks that bottom. I'm going to take it. We'll try to get 10. See why I took that? It busted up above the the resistance. Now, is that a risky trade? Not for 10 ticks usually. Now, where do you think this thing will roll over? Anybody? Look at my line that I drew right there. They're trying to roll it, aren't they? They actually already did, by the way. So could you be ready to take this short again? Should have shorted it right up there at that line. Let's see if we can get a short. Box it in at mid-band. I'll box it in at mid-band. Just took out that swing. I'm going to take a chance on it. Go down to my low. Okay? Everybody see how you can do this? This is actually a pretty good way to trade. And keep in mind that you can use the manual parts of ObjectTrader. You can use the time trader parts of ObjectTrader. You can even use the auto parts of ObjectTrader. Now, let me show you something, and we're not going to care how this goes, but I want to show you how, real quick before we wrap, I want to show you how the auto feature works on changing back and forth. We're not going to care about anything except using this auto feature, okay? So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to show you how to use the auto feature, and then we're going to wrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on stealth, and I'm going to use auto, long, short, reverse. We'll do require trend, LSR, okay, something like that. And then what we need, and we're going to do like 2, let's go ahead and do something like that right there. I want to show you how this actually alternates between the two. Because see, notice how this won't let me do longs here because I've got the mid band that's short. Okay, so it's not even going to let me do a long there. Everybody see that? Okay, so let's just go ahead and do a stealth short. I'm going to do 3. And I'm going to show you how this actually can work. We'll go ahead and do that. And I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. If we get a red stealth, it'll fire short. If we get a green stealth, it should. Well, we didn't have a green stealth, unfortunately, because there's your trend. There's your trend change. Whoa, that thing's moving, isn't it? Jiminy Christmas. That was too quick. That should have fired that stealth short, but the reason it didn't is because I had it going 500 times. That's too fast for ObjectTrader. I'm going to slow it down. But see what this would actually do, though, and in real time this would happen. It would have fired a short on that bar right there. Okay, well, it just did on stealth again. So let's just take it for the fun of it. Let's just see if it works. See if it gets our targets. See, it's above stealth, so see, it even keeps adding contracts. Stealth turns red again. It won't add because we're already at 5. See there? We just got, now we're short 2. Stealth will automatically keep firing that if it breaks stealth and then starts it again. Okay, and that's the auto feature on it. See, it just broke it, but it can't add because there's already 5. Everybody see that? Now, if I took 3 off, it will add it if it comes back through stealth. Watch it. We may get it, we may not. If see stealth just changed again. See there? That's how you use that feature right there too. It will actually change that, you know, and add contracts for you if you want it to. Okay? So that's a pretty good little feature on ObjectTrader also. Okay? Now notice we'd be out of this obviously because we got blue bars right there. Okay? And it's like 10:12, so it's kind of late in the morning. But you want to see if it'll actually fire. Let's turn the auto off and do stealth. See if we can, with turning the mid-band off, basically what this will do, it will fire a green stealth if it goes this way, or a red stealth if it goes the other way. It looks like we got the red one. Okay, let's see if we get anything on it. Otherwise, it'll stop us out. These markets moved after the room closed. Anybody notice that? Kind of good to go, though, aren't we? I'm going to tighten my stop just because that double bottom there. Wow, what a little trader, huh? Okay, everybody see that? Now notice that if I put this on required trend though, that'll turn this long off. It won't let you take a long. See, it turns it off because I'm telling it that I only want the required trend. And with required trend on, you're simply going to get just that. Now, with required trend on, if I go with stealth again, all I got to do is leave that turned on, and if stealth goes red, it'll fire the trade. See if we can get a little stealth trade. There it is. See if we get 2 more targets. Man, that market dropped after we closed the room, didn't it? Okay, so the whole idea is to learn to use ObjectTrader with all its features. And keep in mind that we're not through with ObjectTrader because there's going to be things we'll probably add to ObjectTrader, especially when we get to Ninja 8. And these little tools can be pretty good for you, really. Because just to give an example, what if this market just thrusts, and all of a sudden it turns to a green stealth? Well, you can turn off the required trend and just turn on long also and reverse. And if it gets a green one, it'll actually flip it. I'm not saying that would work in this instance, but let's just see if we can get one and then we'll wrap. Green stealth will flip it. That's pretty good thrust, by the way. It may keep going down. That's fine. There's your green stealth. Yeah, that took us out. Let's try it again. There's a red one. Okay, we got our first green stealth, though. See how it flips it automatically? Now, if you do flipping and everything, I'd highly recommend doing about a 20-tick stop. You can't do it with 12. Okay? Because if you try to do it with 12, what's going to happen is you're just going to get taken in and out of trades. See how that worked? Green stealth, there you go. And notice you've now changed the trend too. So stealth will give you a little early. I like to do a second stealth. See, that's the first stealth, that's the second stealth. You just simply tell it, I want stealth number 2 right here. And it would have never fired that one there. Well, actually, it would have fired that, not this one, but it would have fired this one. So you would have gotten a nice little trade. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap. We'll do this tomorrow. We'll call trades in the room, real time. Be very careful because the markets are moving quite a bit. You can be short 1 minute and long the next. So watch your coin. Make sure that you stick with the trend if at all possible, and also have fairly good stops naturally because of the way we teach it. Okay. How do you get the second contract to have such a higher stop level? The way that is, Mike, on your question, the stop level, this is what we call the exit on close. This is not at your broker right here. This is at your broker. But if this gets taken out with a close of a bar to the downside, it will fire a market order with your broker, but nobody sees that order. The order they're seeing is right here. But this is called exit on close, so it actually puts 2 stops on the chart. But if you lost power, this would be at your broker, and this would not be, because let's say that you lost internet, to give an example, you would obviously get that stop before your charts wouldn't be moving, you see what I mean? But that stop is at your broker to protect you. It's just called a catastrophic stop. Okay? All right. Thanks everyone for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And I know that everybody in the room today heard this gold trade that was called. And by the way, that trade was called right there before Charles even entered the room, right about here, if I remember right. And, it was just a monster move. And I mean, it just kept moving and kept moving. This was all the way past 10 o'clock right here. And if you think about that move there at 48 all the way to 55, that's a $700 a contract trade. But it had several places you could add. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And let's do next week on topics that y'all come up with. I'll ask you in the room what you want to talk about, and we'll go from there. And by the way, you got invites for the week. We're not having a webinar Saturday, obviously. This is Easter weekend. We forgot about that. Charles has got a webinar scheduled for Saturday, but naturally it'll be canceled. Okay, because everybody enjoy their Easter weekend, and the markets will be closed on Friday. It's Good Friday, so there will be no futures markets open on Friday. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good one. Bye now.